technical difficulty there. I'm shutting my door. I am here. Actually, where I was I got delayed there. I was recording something for you guys. Yeah, it's coming out later today. It's going to be a fun one, a new short here on YouTube. So I'm excited about that, but I'm sorry that I'm late. I'm here now, and what I got? One other thing I got to take care of. Leave me some comments. Leave me some stuff here. Hold on, I'm coming back. All right, so let's get into this here. We're continuing our journey through Suzuki Book 1, starting this morning. Yes, morning where I am. You can let me know what time it is where you are. We're starting with long ago. Here we go. Sorry about that. I'm here. You can let me know how the audio is. Long ago. This is another one where I want to start developing my use of the bow, okay? And what do I mean by that? So when we were in roadie, we did long, dun, 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 dum, bum, 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 bum. And roadie is a great place to do that because I have my tapes on the bow. I don't have my other bow out. I don't want to use this bow today. When I go out here to this tape in the upper third, roadie is great because all the short bows happen at this upper third spot. Let me get my tips so you know which part of the bow I'm talking about here, okay? Every single long, short, short, long, 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 short, short, dum, 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 okay? All the way through roadie there, all right? In long ago, I have the opportunity to do some short bows at the balance point. I'm still going to use this middle third of the bow, right? Because we don't want to change too much. We want to just add to what we are doing. Please, here. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go... And just like in roadie, when I do the short bows, I'm either doing them at the balance point, right? You should have a piece of tape there at the balance point, or in the upper third, not in the middle, right? And we're going to do our slow to the middle stuff. So let's go long, short, short, long, short, short, long. Get to the forte. One thing that this piece does with the bowing stuff that it has in common with the Go Tail Out Roadie is that in measure 10, I'm going to do the slow to the middle, and then I'm going to make the contrast, all right, the contrasting dynamics are going to happen by playing all in the upper half of the bow, okay? So I go like this, starting in measure 9 with the forte, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, slow to the middle, and then all in the upper half. And then, again, just like in roadie, okay, float to the bottom. And this is the big teaching point in Long, Long Ago. Well, and of course, getting a great tone on the G string. Hopefully, we've been doing perpetual motion in G. We just got done with perpetual motion. And also, as a prep to Long, Long Ago, you want to make sure while you're polishing up perpetual motion, because actually, you know, we went through it very fast yesterday, but actually polishing up perpetual motion can take quite a lot of time. I mean, it's okay if you're spending some time on that one. And while you're doing that, a really fun thing to do, so that you don't feel like you're getting bogged down in perpetual motion, is to play all of the other first 8 pieces in G, just like you're playing perpetual motion in G. For example, French folk song is a wonderful piece. To really help get the tone going on these thicker strings, and also do it in C major. Hopefully you watched the May Song video, and we're already doing some playing on the C string there in May Song. All right, getting used to that. But this is great practice, you know, because the first 9 pieces only happen on the D and A string, only happen on 2 strings. They can be transferred down to G major on these 2 strings, and down to C major on your 2 thickest strings, okay? Any of them. You could play the whole, you know, you could play all of Allegro down here in G major. Through, same fingering, just down a string, okay? And this is helping to get us used to getting a little more arm weight, all right? Finessing these fingers, we've been talking about that a lot, into the string to get the tone on that thicker string down there, okay? Let's move on to allegretto. So the bowing really is the main thing, the main big thing there in Long, Long Ago, okay? Now, allegretto. Allegretto has a pickup note, just like O Come Little Children. We won't go over in detail what a pickup note is. We already talked about that. Hopefully you've already watched, all right, and you understand what a pickup is from doing O Come Little Children, except that this time it is 2/8 notes. It's one whole pickup beat. So we're in 4/4, so we will be counting 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, like this, right? Now, the big teaching point here, well, there's a couple of them. The first one, though, in allegretto is, of course, the articulation, right? And just like in Long, Long Ago, we had long, short, short, long. We're really going to do the same thing in reverse, right? Short, short, long, short, short, long. And we really, and even put the tenutos on the notes for us. That's that line on the note. Now, hopefully you've done perpetual motion and you did all the doubles, and we're getting really, really good at loosening up this hand, loosening up these fingers. I would still, though, be doing stop-stop bows to continue to develop this. This is really hard stuff, getting these fingers to be on the bow correctly. A lot of times students have this locked-in bow hold, and we're not flexing the fingers down, keeping the flats of the fingers on the frog like this. Yes, this is, and so doing these stop-stop bows, and literally, we talked about this before, it needs to be a hard stop. Otherwise, the fingers aren't really engaged. Remember, to get these fingers strong, we'll get back over here so you can see it. Remember our exercise. Yeah. We do the crawl here, the spider crawl. Ready? You can race me if you have your bow in your hand. Here we go, and we crawl up to, we haven't done this yet in the videos. Okay, one of my favorite exercises here. All right. All right, no throwing the bow. All right, really get those fingers nice and strong so that we're holding it. And remember, don't forget your bow push-ups, right? This little indicator, okay, letting us know if we're really holding the bow in the correct part of our fingers. Yes? All right, so that's first. It's the stop, stop bow, stop, stop long. Now, you also have a new articulation here in Allegretto, what we sometimes refer to as the railroad tracks. Yes? Those two lines, they're called a caesura, and maybe you have them, maybe you don't. In case you do, I'm going to talk about them because I have this older edition. I don't know if they're still printing. I need to get a new edition. I need to get the latest edition and see if they're still in there. But this is kind of an older way of notating phrasing, right? To help students teach students phrasing. A true caesura means cease, right? Cease the sound, stop the sound completely, complete silence. And a phrase, you know, taking a little pause, putting something there at the end is a little different than a caesura. If it was a true caesura there at the end of measure 4, we would do something like this. There'd be like a noticeable space. That's what I think of when I think of caesura. When I think of a phrase, all right, just taking a pause, punctuating the end of the musical sentence, it's more like this. All right, much smaller, all right, like almost just like a breath, yeah? Probably a more accurate, if they really wanted to notate the end of the phrase, a breath mark, actually, a comma, would probably be much more appropriate to put there, okay? But just know that that's what that is. They're trying to teach you about phrasing when they put that caesura mark there at the end of the measure, okay? So we're going along, stop, stop, long, stop, stop, long, short, short, long, get the rest. Now, we have a slowing down, all right? We have the retard there at the end of 11 marked with an RIT period. That's an abbreviation for ritardando, okay? So we're going along here at the pickup to 9. And notice on these low strings, they gave you that marking again, the dot and the line together. Remember, we're going to interpret this as hard stop. We're going to use a little bit of bow, right? We're not just going to use a tiny little bit of staccato bow. We're going to use the bow, okay, but we're going to hard stop it. Right? So, again, we have this slowing down but diminuendo, okay? How do I slow down and maybe use a little more bow, okay? Or maybe I just need to save my bow, but then also getting softer at the same time, yes? I'm really gonna do this with the arm weight in the amount of bow that I'm using, all right? And just take my time. I'm doing a lot of bow saving. I'm doing a lot of bow coming back toward the fingerboard, all right? And I'm really letting the arm weight out, but not letting the arm weight out so much that I lose the tone, yes? Really light, okay, with the bow there at the fermata. Now that is a big grand pause, okay? Well, not an actual grand pause because that's an actual thing in music, right? But a big pause because we have the fermata. We talked about what a fermata is before in the last video. So I'm going to take a big weight, and then all the way to the end, we get the odd tempo there at measure 13, which means go back to the original tempo, and then we play to the end, and no slowing down at the end, because the slowing down part is in the middle of the piece. Yes? So let's play all the way through it. So you notice as we go along here in the Suzuki book, much more music to be made, all right, many more things that we get to do as we go along, and our job is to bring all of these things to life, yes? Let's go from the beginning here. And one marking they actually should have put in there is the retake in 8. Yes, because you have a down, down. So you definitely want to make sure you put in a circle set if you need to. Damien, love the comment. Oh, I'm glad it's helping you. That's awesome. All right, that's fantastic. Okay, love the comment. Yeah, if you have a question, I'm not a bass player, obviously, but I do teach school orchestra, so maybe there's a question I can answer for you. Okay, we're gonna move on to Andantino here in Suzuki Cellobuch 1. It's a lot like Allegretto, except that it doesn't start on a pickup, right? It starts right on the downbeat, and we're supposed to be feeling it in cut time. Dun 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 dum dum dun dum dum. And it has a completely different musical feel because these 2 eighth notes come on the downbeat, all right, and not on the pickup, right? So we're counting 1 and 2. Now, I think here in measure 15, all right, we have the retard, we have the crescendo. This is easy, all right? Well, it's easy to think about, all right? It's easy. The mechanics of it are easy to understand. Use more and more bow, yeah? Just use lots of bow. That will help you slow down, and it will help you get louder, right? And if I do all of them, if I also get my arm weight in there and get my bow going down there toward the bridge, I'm going to be able to make lots of wonderful contrasts, yes? Now they put a fermata here in this edition. It's a fermata and a caesura. It's kind of redundant, all right? The fermata means hold, yes? I guess they put the caesura there and they put the fermata over it to know that you're just holding space. You're holding time. So a fermata over a note, if the fermata were actually over the G, it would sound like this. Which is not what Mr. Suzuki wrote. What he wants is that space hanging out there, that little we're suspended in time and the audience is wondering what's happening, and then you surprise them with the little meno mosso there at the end. Space. To the end, yes? Let's talk about the dynamics some more here in this piece. I think mezzo forte is probably the hardest dynamic to start at because you have to start in the middle, meaning you have to leave room to get louder, okay? And you have to leave room to get softer, yes? So, finding the middle at the very beginning can be a little bit of a challenge, and this is why you have to practice, ahead of time to make sure that you understand exactly where that volume level is, what it feels like over here in the right hand, to get that dynamic correct, yeah? So I'm starting the nice medium arm weight, keeping my bow, all my bow stuff going. Now on those crescendos, decrescendos, again, I'm increasing the arm weight. I'm not really changing the bow because I have such short notes, right? I have something very specific I'm trying to do here with the bow and the staccatos and the shortness of the note. So I really have to use my arm weight and my contact point to get the crescendo, decrescendo, yes? Again. Now, third line, completely contrasting, right? There are no staccatos in the third line of Andantino. Where did we see that before? saw it in Allegretto, right? I mean, not Allegretto, in Allegro, number 8 in the book, all right? We want something very different here. I think the challenge here in the Andantino is to keep the tempo going, to keep the cut time feel, because it wants to feel like it's in 4/4 here, yes? So we want to keep this cut time. That's what the big C with the line through it at the beginning means. It's if it was numbers, it'd be the same as 2/2, right? Half note gets the beat, 2 beats in a measure. So when we get here to the third line, keep it forte, right? Lots of arm weight, lots of bow, and really lots of bow because what? It's not staccato anymore. Sorry. Started to play Allegro there for a second, all right? And that is Andantino, okay? Got dynamics, keeping it short. The cut time, that's very, very new into there. All right. We talked about all the slowing down and what to do there in measure 15 with the slowing down, using more bow, getting up there, making sure that I have the crescendo and the slowing down and the big pause there before the last measure of the piece, okay? Now, number to end here, number 13, Rigadoon, my absolute favorite piece, one of my favorites. I say that a lot about a lot of pieces, but I just got, whenever I get to this piece and I get to talk about it, I love it. I think it's great. I think this is the first time in Suzuki Book 1. Now, we talked about this in one of the earlier videos, how the Suzuki sequence, what makes it so great, is that eventually you get to this sequence of pieces where it's make a great sound, learn something new, make a great sound, learn something new, okay, all the way through. Now, in the very beginning of the book, it's all about just learn something new, learn something new, learn something new. But finally here with Rigadoon, notice there are no articulations on the notes, yes? There are a couple of dynamics. We have mezzo forte, forte, no articulations, there's no slowing down, there's no crescendos, decrescendos. This piece is just all about making I mean, I love this piece. All right, and there's, you know, I've had students, I've had people like say that it's boring or they don't like it. I think if you're bored by this piece, you don't understand cello. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. All right, or you don't understand music, because you know what we're after here with making tone and being expressive, okay, and everything we do over here with the right hand. There's so much music to be made in this piece. Things to think about. It is possible to use too much bow in this piece, right? If I overbow it and I go, right, I shouldn't be going frog to tip. That's just too much bow. Eighth notes, I'm just, remember that a rigadoon is a dance, right? And so it's upon me, you know, how can I make this sound dance-like, right? How can I make it feel upbeat, like I'm, you know, so there's people around me that want to dance, that want to get up and move around. And notice when I'm forte and I'm trying to make it more dance-like, I'm going to use a little less bow, a little more arm weight, get a lot of energy into the bow, and I'm staying down here. Actually, I'm down here for a lot of the piece, except for the long notes. Okay, I'm right down here. Lots of just great cello sound is what I want from this piece. Okay, all right. There are other videos on the channel about tone if you're struggling with tone. Okay, I just put one out yesterday. There's also the video about decibel meters here on the channel. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any questions, any comments there. We're going to do one more of these this afternoon. We're going to do Etude all the way to Minuet number 2, 14 through 17, and finish out our little weekend journey here through Suzuki Book 1. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you this afternoon.